In the grim darkness of the far future, where entire civilizations burn to ash and the stars themselves tremble beneath unending war, there exists a species that does not merely endure conflict, but thrives within it. They do not fear battle, nor do they mourn loss. To them, war is not a tragedy or a necessity. It is life itself.
These are the Orks, brutal, savage, and endlessly violent. Known to humanity as space orcs, they are a xenos species whose entire culture, biology, and spirituality revolves around one simple truth: fighting is the greatest joy in existence. While other factions struggle to survive, dominate, or corrupt the galaxy, the Orks fight because it is what they were born to do, and nothing makes them happier. Origins: the galaxy's oldest weapon. The Orks did not evolve naturally. They were created millions of years before the Imperium of Man. During the ancient and apocalyptic War in Heaven, the Old Ones faced extinction at the hands of the Necrons and their godlike masters, the C'tan. In desperation, they engineered weapons, entire species designed solely for war. Among these creations were the Krork, the ancestors of the modern Orks. The Krork were colossal, intelligent, and terrifyingly organized. They possessed advanced technology, immense psychic potential, and a unified purpose: destroy the enemies of the Old Ones. For a time, they were devastatingly effective, but the war ended. The Old Ones vanished. The Necrons slept, and the Krork were left without direction. Over millions of years, they devolved. Their intelligence diminished. Their technology became crude, but their strength, resilience, and love of war endured. What remained were the Orks, a degenerated form of the Krork, yet still one of the most dangerous forces in the galaxy. They had lost their masters, but not their purpose.
Biology, war-made flesh.
Orks are not mammals, reptiles, or anything remotely human. They are a fungal-based life form, reproducing through spores released into the environment when orcs fight, bleed, and die. Wherever orcs wage war, their spores infest the soil, eventually giving rise to new orcs, Gretchen, squigs, and the entire orcoid ecosystem. This means that every orc invasion permanently scars a world. Even after victory, the Imperium must remain vigilant, because orcs will inevitably rise again. Orcs grow throughout their lives. The more they fight and survive, the larger and tougher they become. This natural progression creates their hierarchy. Weak orcs die. Strong orcs grow. The strongest become leaders. Pain barely registers. Fear is almost non-existent. An orc who dies in battle has achieved the highest honor imaginable. Orc society. Might makes right. Orc society is brutally simple and brutally effective. There are no laws, no politics, and no diplomacy. Authority comes from strength alone. If you want to lead, you fight the leader. If you win, you deserve command. If you lose, you are weak, and weakness deserves death. This creates a constant state of internal conflict. Orcs fight each other relentlessly when no external enemies are available. Strangely, this endless violence strengthens the species, ensuring that only the toughest orcs survive long enough to command entire Waaghs. Orcs instinctively fall into roles. Boys form the bulk of orc armies. Knobs act as brutal enforcers and lieutenants. War bosses rule through sheer dominance. Beyond these are specialized orcs, whose instincts guide them into specific paths of war. Built for destruction, Orc society functions because every orc is born knowing its role. Mech boys are mechanical savants, instinctively understanding how to build weapons, vehicles, and gargantuan war engines from scrap. Their creations defy logic, but function through belief and orc psychic energy. Pain boys are twisted surgeons who keep orcs fighting far beyond mortal limits, replacing limbs with crude bionics and laughing as their patients scream. Weird boys channel the raw psychic energy of nearby orcs, unleashing devastating blasts of warp-fueled destruction, often at great risk to themselves. Run-thirds control Gretchen and Squigs, maintaining the chaotic orc supply chain through fear and violence. Together, these roles allow orc society to function without planning, bureaucracy, or foresight. It works because it was designed to work. Orcs organize themselves into clans, each emphasizing a particular philosophy of combat. The Goths are the toughest and most violent, favoring brutal close combat and overwhelming force. The Evil Sons worship speed, filling battlefields with roaring engines and reckless charges. The Bad Moons, wealthier due to faster-growing teeth, wield the best weapons and flashiest armor. The Death Skulls are scavengers and looters, stealing anything not nailed down. The Blood Axes embrace tactics, camouflage, and discipline, disturbingly similar to human militaries. The Snakebites cling to ancient traditions, favoring beasts and raw savagery over technology. Every great Waaagh is a volatile mix of these clans, unified only by the promise of destruction. Technology. Belief shapes reality. Orc technology is infamous across the galaxy. Their weapons are ramshackle. Their vehicles appear unsafe. Their war machines look like piles of scrap barely held together. And yet, they function. This is due to the Orcs' unique Gestalt psychic field. Individually weak, collectively powerful, their belief subtly reshapes reality. Red-painted vehicles go faster. Bigger guns hit harder. More spikes make things deadlier. To the Imperium, Orc technology is an affront to science. To the Orcs, it's just obvious. The Waaagh, a living apocalypse. When enough Orcs gather under a powerful war boss, a Waaagh is born. This is not merely an invasion, it is a psychic storm of violence that grows stronger with every victory. As a Waaagh expands, Orcs grow larger and more aggressive. Their technology becomes more effective. Entire systems fall into anarchy. Some Waaghs have reshaped galactic history.
Gods of war. Gork and Mork. Orcs worship two gods, Gork and Mork. One is brutal but cunning. The other is cunning but brutal. The distinction matters little. Both embody Orc ideals of strength, violence, and victory. Unlike chaos, Orc faith is not corruptive or manipulative. It is honest. To fight is holy. To win is divine favor. To die fighting is the greatest reward imaginable. Why the Orcs will never be defeated. The Imperium fights to survive. Chaos fights to corrupt. The Tyranids fight to consume. Orcs fight because they love it. They do not fear extinction. They do not seek peace. Every battle is a victory, regardless of the outcome. Even defeat is simply an excuse to fight again, bigger, louder, and more violently than before. As long as there is war in the galaxy, the Orcs will endure. And in the grim darkness of the far future, where there is only war, the Orcs are already home.